Hey, Marcus. Hope all is well. I'm just curious from a preparation standpoint. After missing last season, does your ramp up off-season work, anything like that, change? And if so, how in preparation for this season?
I never have to get ready because I stay ready. So I'm ready to rock. I'm ready to go out there and throw 200 plus innings like I am every single year. My preparation's elite. My trainer's elite. And like I said, I put my utmost confidence in her and my body and my mind. And I'm just excited to go out there and pitch.
Now, obviously, last season you had concerns about the safety protocols in place in opting out. I'm just curious what you saw perhaps last year that made you more comfortable to come back and play this season while this pandemic is still ongoing.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious the standards that have been put in place, and everything was kind of up in the air. It's kind of, you never knew what you were going to expect at showing up every single day. So I think MLB and the Mets have done an unbelievable job of putting the safety protocols in place and moving forward and getting everything where it needs to be to provide a safe environment. So I'm looking forward to competing, and I won't be addressing any more comments about the past.
Your next question comes from Tim Healy.
Hi, Marcus. I know it didn't last too long before you decided to come back to the Mets, but what did you think of your first dabbling with free agency?
I think it was just a weird playing field. You know what I mean? A lot of unknowns out there. When I had the opportunity to come back to the Mets, to be honest with you, that was something on my priority list because of the organization, the staff. I loved everything about the team when I got here, players and coaches. So I was excited to kind of take the QO and go in the market next year because I know what I'm capable of and I know what I'm going to do all future. So I'll always bet on myself every single time. And like I said, I'm not slightly worried. I know I'm going to go out there and perform.
Sure. And the Mets, among other teams, are looking at having some sort of limited capacity fan situation come opening day. I was just curious what your experiences were like, having been to a couple NBA games with the smaller crowds, the various precautions in place, things like that.
I think we're focused on the baseball season this year and doing everything I can here. I don't think that's a question of concern at all. Like I said, I'm here with my team. I walked in today. Every single person in this clubhouse had a smile on their face, excited to see me. Everyone's ready to rock. Been kicking it with DeGrom all day, talking about how to get better, and that's all we're focused on.
Got it. I didn't mean to suggest that it was of concern, but thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mike Puma, you're next.
Hey, Marcus, you played with Kevin Pillar in Toronto. Just wondered what kind of teammate was he and what you think he'll bring to the Mets.
Kevin Pillar has always been my guy. Always been one of my best friends all throughout that whole Toronto reign. We kind of came up together. He's an unbelievable competitor. One of the most fiery guys to ever go out on the field. He puts his body on his line every single play. No matter what he's going through, whatever injuries he's battling, he's going to go out there and give you 120% every single time. He's a grinder. He's a competitor. He's someone that you always want to have on your roster, and he's a wizard in center field. So I think Kevin Pillar is someone that does nothing but upgrade any roster.
Thank you.
Disha Thozar from the Daily News is next.
Hey, Marcus. Back when you accepted your qualifying offer, you mentioned you were excited to play for Steve Cohen and just in general excited about the new ownership. How have those conversations with Steve been like, and have you noticed a change in the atmosphere at camp under the new ownership?
I mean, we've had a great atmosphere always here. I don't know what gets talked about on the outside, but I know the atmosphere that we've had in this clubhouse has been unbelievable between players, between coaches, between staff, regardless of anything that's going on outside of it. Steve Cohen is the man. I haven't had too many talks, maybe 2 or 3 with him in the beginning. And just to hear his level of excitement, how in tune he was with what was going on with the team, to just kind of hear his direction, it was very refreshing and awesome to hear. So I think anybody wants to play for an owner who's kind of all in as he is. You know what I mean? I think that's the goal for players is to have that wantingness to go out there and perform and be great for their owners and the upper management.
And then how has it been like getting to know McCann, and what has just been your first impression of him working with him?
Throw my first bullpen tomorrow. But yeah, just by talking to him, he's unbelievable professional. He's trying to get to know all of us. He wants to know how we work. He wants to know our ins and outs. I can't wait to work with him. I already know the rep that he had before he even got here. So I'm excited because I know how much he's going to be able to help our entire pitching staff. I know how she's going to help in the box, not only behind the plate. So he's an unbelievable player and a huge, huge addition to this team. And like I said, I just can't wait to get on the same page with him and be great.
Thanks.
Tony DeComo from MLB.com is next.
Hey, Marcus. Obviously, a bunch of new pieces in the starting pitching mix here with the Mets. There's also talk that the team could still add more. I guess two parts to that is, one, do you think this rotation needs more help? And two, where do you think this group ranks among some of the better groups in the league right now?
I think we're unbelievable. I'm not throwing out anything because I know it's going to be headlines tomorrow. Stroman thinks this, and this. But I speak highly of our guys for a reason. I think we're unbelievable what we have. I think any team can always make additions, but I love our staff. I love our staff 1 through 5. I love our entire team, to be honest with you. If we're nitpicking, you can nitpick with any team and say, oh, yeah, it'd be better if we added this, and this. But let's be real here. Look at who we added in the offseason, and let's be thankful for that. And let's get the fan base excited and ready to play baseball for this year.
Thank you.
Bruce Beck from WNBC is next.
Hey, Marcus, as a Long Island native, to have a chance to pitch a whole season here for the Mets, how excited are you about that opportunity, and what kind of privilege is it to be pitching so close to where you grew up?
Man, beyond excited, you know what I mean? A lot of false media reports when I first got traded over that came out and said that I wanted to pitch for the Yankees, which were completely false. I was beyond excited to be traded to the Mets. To be honest with you, my family, I have way more Met fans in my family than I do Yankee fans. So the fact that report let it run was crazy at the time because I was beyond excited to pitch in Queens for my entire future, to have my mom, my brother, my dad, my sister, my brother-in-law, my whole family at every game is a blessing and something that I haven't had the opportunity to do. So, yeah, I've been excited to pitch in Queens. I've been excited to pitch in New York for the Mets. Nothing has changed since the time I got traded over, regardless of what reports have ran.
Tina Cervasio from Fox 5, you're next.
Hey, Marcus. To kind of build on that, the Mets sent us clips yesterday because a lot of us can't be in Port St. Lucie, and it just showed a smile on your face. You were having so much fun. You just actually mentioned how great the atmosphere is. But for you personally, to be back there, get that ball back in your hand after not pitching last year, what are the emotions and the thoughts that you have this opportunity to pitch in a safe atmosphere for this season?
Yeah, my excitement is at an all-time high. I know how calm my mind is. I know where my body's at. I know where my arm's at. I know what I'm going to do all future. So I'm just excited to get back out there and compete and kind of remind the world the pitcher that I am. So I've just been building, training, working on mind, body, and soul every day. And I'm truly at the best place I've ever been in my life as far as my mind-body connection. And there's truly nothing that can stop me. And I'm just excited for the future.
Dave Lennon from Newsday, you're next.
Hey, Marcus. Hope you're doing well. I was just wondering, was there any particular challenge or an effect of not getting the chance to pitch competitively for last season, and the fact that you haven't done that for a while? Is there anything that you had to do off-season wise, or could it even be a benefit of maybe having that additional rest? I'm just wondering what effect that could have had overall.
If anything, it was a benefit, like you said, because of my training program, my routine with Nicky Huffman. Like I said, I'm 5'7", but I'm going to go out there and throw 200-plus innings year after year. My body's elite, so I kind of put a priority on my body, my mind, my arm during that entire process. It wasn't like I was just hanging out. I was training daily, getting ready for whenever I was going to go out there next. So, yeah, I feel unbelievable, man. Like, I'm just excited for whatever the future may bring, and the team that we have makes it extremely exciting to go out there and compete every day. I know we're going to have a great atmosphere. I know it's going to be a fun atmosphere, an exciting atmosphere, so yeah, I just can't wait to be with the guys and get going.
As a guy who always likes to be creative and experiment on the mound, did you have a chance to maybe do a little bit more of that at all, or is that something you'd have to wait for spring training to
I got some things. I got some things that are coming, so we'll see when we get out there.
All right, thank you.
Mark Roseman from Sports Talk New York. You're next.
Hey, Marcus, welcome back. You mentioned this about your preparation and your training being elite, and I guess that leads to your confidence, which is off the charts. You probably expect more out of yourself than anyone else does. How does all that factor into being able to pitch under the microscope of New York? You mentioned it. You know, if you say something, it's going to be headlines. How does all that help you deal with New York?
I mean, I've always liked the pressure. You know what I mean? My whole come up, my dad, there's no one that put more pressure on me than my father at a young age, so I can truly get through anything. But yeah, when it comes to New York and pitching there, obviously that's the mecca. That's where you want to be. You know what I mean? I'm excited to go out there and perform. You know what I mean? Because there's this huge stigma that I was terrible in my 11 starts with the 3.7. I just kind of laugh at that. I know what I'm going to put in this year going forward. So yeah, like you said, confidence definitely comes from a work ethic, man. I truly pride myself on that. Like I said, I'm 5'7", so I don't take days off. There's no room to miss for me. I truly, when I leave here, I'm in my hyperbaric. I have Nikki here. I'm doing dry needling. I'm doing soft tissue. I'm focusing on mine. I do everything to truly put my mind and my body at the best possible place to be elite out there each and every time. And I put a huge emphasis on my mind and my mental as well. I have a mental coach who I speak to often, who kind of is able to lock me in when things get hectic. So I take every opportunity to better myself in every single lane, on and off the field. Even when baseball's over, I plan on being great in life in general until the day I die. So that's kind of the mindset that I have. That's the mindset that I'll continue to take. My dad from a young age always taught me to have a chip on my shoulder and be the most confident guy in the room. And that's going to stay. That's going to stick with me forever, regardless of what anybody says ever.
Marcus, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you, guys.
Members of the media, Aaron Loop will be available via Zoom shortly once we have a time for him. And Mets manager Luis Rojas will be at 2 o'clock. We will send out a Zoom invite.